Hey everybody, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and FBA podcast. Today we got a bit of a glitch. Our guest canceled at the last minute, and we were scrambling trying to find a guest, and we found one, an awesome guest. And this guest is my right arm, Vandana, Rastogi. So we're going to be talking about a variety of different things, from SOPs to working together. So there's a lot going on. And let's see, I think that's it. Welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with
All right, like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about probably spending a good chunk of time on SOPs. We just went through and redid a ton of ours. I don't even know how long it took. It took months, but we've revamped everything, put them into a new project management tool. But also, we could also talk about project management itself. So our guest today, we'll get to her in a second, is my right arm, Vandana Rastogi. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor, which I'll read, and it's Seller Basics. Hey, Amazon sellers ever faced with suspensions, ASIN hiccups, or IP headaches? Introducing Seller Basics, your accounts, Amazon accounts guardian, which is $99 per month, or with code NORM, $89 per month. Seller Basics offers a dedicated team to shield your business from these challenges. Plus, this membership offers free legal consultations from seasoned e-commerce attorneys. And there's no long-term contracts, and you can cancel with just 1 month's notice. Seller Basics, you can see Seller Basics as your Amazon accounts health plan, and you can check them out at sellerbasics.com. Now, please note, here's the disclaimer: Seller Basics is not an insurer or law firm. Consultations come from independent firms. Results may vary, and membership needed before events leading to claims and terms apply. All right, let's get back to this.
Hello.
Hey, just a sec here. One sec. I just noticed.
Your background?
Yep, just one sec.
I thought it was a subtle plug that you're doing.
That could be that too.
Marketing Misfits.
There we go.
Which, by the way, is out, and you can check out the YouTube channel. Just search Marketing Misfits podcast, and you'll find I think we're up 11 episodes in. Yeah, check it out. I'll drop the link there.
Yeah, we would love some support too from the channel. I'm going to post this a little bit later into our group, but the more we can either provide a review or give a thumbs up or shares are big, that would be awesome. So either on YouTube or over on any of the podcast channels. By the way, Kelsey, I don't know if you know this. I know you're coming along, but if you had the ability to spend 5 days with Kevin King, how much would you spend?
It's priceless.
Right?
I don't think you could put a dollar amount on that.
What about Steve Simonson?
Oh my goodness.
What about Lauren Petrullo?
These are some heavy hitters you got. Your name
our event is sold out, so this isn't a pitch.
So you're just not letting
for people. Gracie Ryback.
Yes, the one and only.
The one and only. So all these people, and those are just a few, but
and you can't come.
And yeah, so it's just kind of snubbing everybody. No. But why I'm telling everybody this is that next year we're going to do an event. We don't know what's going to happen. Actually, we'd like some suggestions. What would really turn your crank? What would be that once in a lifetime experience that you would love to go on? And we're going to try to bring out like-minded entrepreneurs. So this is going to be a good event. We'll keep you all posted. We'll be on social during the event. It's how long is it? 1 week?
It's the 3rd to the 9th. So just about 1 week.
Yeah. So it's going to be awesome. So sorry you couldn't make it this time, but luckily, we thought we'd have one seat left, but we actually sold out. So that was good.
All right, yeah, that's coming up soon. I just want to say a quick hello to Steve and Simon joining us, both from England right now. So very cool. Good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, we have. I think we'll be talking about several things this episode. So
Not sure yet, but we'll get to
if you have
them.
any questions, let us know in the comment sections. We have a great guest today. And Marina, good to see you, a fellow Torontonian joining us. So good to see you, Marina. And I think that's it. Other than make sure you sign up for the newsletter. We have a pretty fun story actually featuring your wife, my mom.
Oh, yeah. So that I saw that in the newsletter. So yeah, that was a pretty interesting story.
Yeah.
And that was only one of many that came out of New York back in the 80s. It was just a wild place.
All right, so I'm going to be dropping that link too. So make sure you check it out. Sign up if you haven't already. But I think that's it.
All right.
Good to see you,
Okay.
Rad, too.
Yeah, good to see Rad. Oh, by the way, my very good friend, well, two good friends, Scott Cunningham and Wasim Khan, we're trying to put together something, and I was wondering if the Beardo Nation would be interested in this. We've got something called the Digital Startup. And what that is, this is Wasim's dream. He put on an event 2 years ago, and it was very successful. So he wants to see if he can grow that into a much bigger event in Toronto, but not only that, but a new group. And it's all about digital marketing. And so, have guest speakers. Event would be in Toronto. If anybody's interested in something like that, let me know. I'm just trying to get some ideas together to feed back to Wasim and to Scott. I'll be involved with it. Who knows? Maybe Kevin will be involved with it, but it'll be an event that would be happening in Toronto, probably in the fall, and just seeing what we could do with it. So just tuck that away. And then let's see. Now, I bet you she's all nervous. Let's bring her on. Vandana Rastogi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And so everybody's probably saying, oh, she's up so late. She's in India. Yeah. No. Where are you now? In Redmond, BC? Or Washington?
Washington. Yeah, I'm in Washington and it's early morning. So yeah, either I woke very early in the morning or very late at the night. I just don't do normal things.
Stop complaining. Oh. You know what? It's funny. You and me communicate better when you're in India.
I believe so, and I totally agree with that. And I think I have worked so many years already with you in the time zone that I have, my mind has adjusted to the time zone that, what, this is the time I can work in. And it's a bit difficult and struggling to work in this. And good news for you, I'll be soon there. So
Yeah, but you're going to
be
miss our
easier.
trip. I
Yeah.
invited you, but no, you snub me like you usually
Oh
do.
my God, why do I always get chances when I can't use them? Like really, it's been difficult. And I tried actually, and looks like it's very difficult to get, the US Embassy slot in India to finish this very quick and come back. So
Yeah. But it's too bad you couldn't just come up. We're having a really nice dinner on the 4th. But anyways, when you're back. So
yeah.
Vandana, and yes, it's Wandana, but anybody who's going to say, I know Vandana's Vandana. Her mom hates me for that. but anyway, she does work. She comes back and forth. I don't know. Depends on the visa, but it's what, about 3 months you can come here and then you go back to India.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you
around
actually
that
got
time.
your training in Poland. That's how we met.
Yeah, so I finished my MBA from Warsaw, that is in Poland, and I think that's when I started working for you. And I think it was 5 years ago. I started working for you around August, September 2019.
I can tell you when it was. It was 2018. I went to BDSS, and after that there was that lady there,
Yeah,
and she we ended up meeting through her. And then it was 2018ish, 19ish. Yeah, so it's
yeah.
been a bit of time. So just like anything, you go through a honeymoon period, and then you go through, you just kind of get to know each other. And I know she knows that I have a bunch of quirks. So, but and she hates me for
That's
them. Sometimes I go missing, but and by the way, that's why you have to have somebody that can function on their own, because I will go MIA for a week or 2 weeks,
yeah.
and somebody's running the company. And that's Vandana. She's talking with the clients, and she's organizing photos and videos, copy, all that stuff. So, I can go and do my thing. So I couldn't go to these events without a properly trained VA. So maybe we'll start there, and then we'll get over to the SOPs. Uh, Training.
Hmm.
Now, I'm not talking about you and me, sitting down and getting trained, but how do you keep, like, I'll come up to you after a podcast and say, "Oh, I just learned about this. Do you know that?" "Yeah, I already know that." How do you keep up with that sort of training?
Um, we actually have, a very lengthy Google Drive folders up and running with all the SOPs, Loom videos, all the training videos that we could have. So, yeah, there's no point of not knowing anything that is existing because we already have, database. We already have all the informations or data that we need to, stay updated and to actually know what's happening in the company, to know actually what's happening with each of the client, any smallest detail that we would want for anybody, we actually have it. So, there's not like some person sitting and giving any information to anybody. It's all there. Everybody has it. It's for everyone. And, that's how the team asks everybody we know about what's happening.
Well, what happens if you don't know something? So there's something new in Amazon, or you all of a sudden get a message from clients that something's happening to their account. What do you do to find those answers?
Generally, that does not happen. To be honest, with so many years of experience and with so many SOPs that we have already got, we've managed so many documents already that we have on our Google Drive. Mostly that does not happen, but let's say in case we actually get stuck with a thing that we do not know what it is, or we still don't understand how could that thing happen to us. It's easier to get in contact with one of the Amazon's support team, and we also have an SOP on how do we do that. So you just contact them, and then you try to figure out and get a good support executive on the call, figure out what is happening, and once you know what is happening, you'll always have an SOP on how to, again, solve it.
Right. And that's important. So anything
Yeah,
repeatable, and we'll get to SOPs in a sec, but anything that's repeatable. So you might have to figure it out the first time, and it
yeah,
might take you time, but if it's repeatable, you're recording either a Loom video or, the steps. So the next person that this happens to, you can automatically look it up and get a training video, any of the templates, as well as the policy and procedure. Now,
right.
within that policy and procedure lies the SOP, and we'll talk about that later as well. But one of the other things, and I see the WhatsApp group doing really well with this. Lots of people
Yeah,
are having issues, can't find something. So what do? They lean on a group, and that could be our WhatsApp group, it could be BDS's, it could be whatever it is. But
yeah,
by reaching out, joining groups, joining masterminds, that's another
no,
way of
yes.
helping get those answers.
Right. We generally do join those kind of masterminds or conferences, and then, we make notes on what's happening, what are the new things that we can follow, or what are the changes that we can think of doing within anybody, or within Amazon, or within the company, that we can, that can make our lives easier, or that can solve a few problems that we might be having in future. So yeah, we do generally make notes. We also make documents on those. We also note that, and we try to implement if, it's as soon as it's doable, if that's something we need to follow. So yeah, we keep ourselves updated. And you're talking about the WhatsApp group, I keep tracking that. And um, many things here and there, like there are things that's happening, there are things that we don't know people are facing, and that's how we know, this can also come on our way. And then there are things that we know that people are discussing and we know the answer. So we
Yeah, and
tend
it
to,
could
yeah,
even be just continuous education, such as the newsletter. I think we've got a really great newsletter.
yeah.
It's more personal. Like the style of the newsletter is first portion of it is a personal story, but then we get into Amazon and e-commerce, digital marketing. Kevin's got a great. Kevin King's got a great. It's BDS. $1 billion Summit newsletter. And he had one article in there that was really great. And I know about this, I talk about this, but he really hit it home. It was probably 2-3 weeks ago when he was talking using ChatGPT for regional keyword research. So on a broader scope, America, they talk about something simple like a napkin. Canada, serviette. Foyer, foyer, porch. There's just different words. Then he drilled down to the state or even local region, and it was completely crazy the different terms that you would use. And I could see this working with press releases, especially press releases, but also in product. If you're marketing into a certain area, making sure that you use the local terminology. And he did that all through Chat GPT. I believe he gave the prompts how to do it. Uh, but going back to press releases, if you were to say the local keyword, okay, that main keyword, and in the area that you're looking for, so XYZ in, and let's say it's Kitchener Waterloo. It's got to
Hmm.
be, that might be a little bit too big, but it's got to be about 350,000 people or less. You'll automatically, like in a day, be number one in so many keyword searches. It's crazy. So if you notice that you're getting a lot of just a lot of activity from a certain area, go into Chat GPT, talk about certain ways, certain terminologies, and write within um, their language. And believe it, like I forget, I was talking to Lauren Petrullo just the other day on Marketing Misfits, and I forget what she said, how much extra traffic you'll get and how many extra conversions you'll get by doing this. It's crazy. I think she said something between 30 and 40%. So anyway, I just wanted to touch a little bit on that. By the way, uh, do you have your book, your notebook?
Oh my God. Yeah, I have, I
where
was,
where
uh,
where is like volume, whatever volume you're working on. So this is funny. So I'm this
oh my
old
God.
coot, living in the country, but I'm all digital, right? And then talking with Vandana, like we try to talk once twice a week. That doesn't usually happen very often nowadays, but that's how we set out. And she has this like encyclopedia of notes that she's taken. It's just hilarious because she's a note taker and I'm one of these. Yeah, I'll take notes, but I'll type it. You know, that's kind of funny.
No, I started making digital notes, I think 5, 6 months ago. So I learned it because actually the notebook that I was using, the last notebook that I used to make notes of everything that we were talking, or like my things to do, it actually was on the last second, third page. I've realized that there's no point of bringing new notebook up here. Let me use my Apple Notes and start.
That's what I do. Yeah,
And that's when I started using that, when you shared your notes with me, and then you started making some notes, or making some to-do list for the discussion, or for whatever we were trying to do at that point of time. And I'm like, yeah, this is easier, let me try to do that. And then that's how I started implementing. So you actually forced me to use yours because I had no other option, and then I learned that I can do it for myself. So yeah.
The only
Yeah.
thing with Apple Notes is that you can't, when you search, it'll bring up all your notes, but
Yeah.
you can't click on, like, it'll show you the path, but you can't click on the path. And for me, I've got thousands and thousands of
Yeah.
Apple Notes. And so I've still got to go. Now I know, oh, it's in the podcast folder and it's under Lunch with Norm.
Yeah.
But, that it's very hard. That the Apple, I wish they would do better with that. But if
Yeah.
you haven't used Apple Notes, it's a fantastic,
Yeah.
just a fantastic tool. And you can get all sorts of other apps that you can kind of tie in. So one of the things I like using is I can go to a website, I can highlight something, and then take that link. And so it's just whatever the quote is, put it into Apple Notes. I can read that note. Plus, it's got the link going back to the article if I ever want it. So very easy for note taking. Plus, if I have an agenda, like if I'm going to go on a trip, all I do is put my trip name in, and then Mary would start dragging hotel reservations, anything related to it. Like Kevin and I are going to this podcast movement in Washington right after CMS. So that's just got the confirmation for that. So it all goes into one docket. So it's very easy
Yeah.
to check out. And I mean, that's part of SOPs. It's just making things easy to get to without having to hunt. It takes extra time to do it, but it's so easy to do, especially those repeat tasks that we talk about. It takes a bit more time to start it off, but you never know when you're going to need it again. And so let's from this, let's get into the SOPs.
Yeah.
So first of all, like I said, and a lot of people that are listening already know, I always talk about policy and procedures, because a policy and procedure is a lot different than an SOP. So do you want to go into, how we structure our policies?
Yeah, I can talk more about it. So I finished writing. I don't know, maybe Kelsey also was on board when I was doing it. So maybe 100 or 150 SOPs together with the team, and we restructured all of them. Each and every one of those SOPs that we ever had was updated, but then we ended up writing a lot of new uh, uh, documents under it. And yeah, we have a specific way of writing it. So we generally like to start the thing with the purpose. So it's like you should clearly know the purpose when you are looking at this SOP or the policy and procedure, that you understand if this will really solve the problem that you are trying to solve with this steps that you read in this document.
It's the buy-in. Why is this SOP important?
Right. So that's the first step. We'll have to write the purpose of it. So after that, we follow that with the introduction. So introductions kind of sorts the starting point of it. Like, how do you need to start? What are it actually defines in brief about the SOP. Like, what can you expect? What you will do at the end? Everything. So introduction will be the brief introduction to the topic, and all the important information that you must have or you will have in this document is actually informed. So that's the second step. Then we have the third step, which is the requirement, which is the most important one. When we generally write the SOP, there are a few things that we already should have in hand before going through it. And maybe you know it at the fifth or sixth step, and then you figure out that, oh, I wanted this OTP and I can't get that. So let's stop it in between. So that won't happen. Generally, when you read all the requirements, it's clearly mentioned that you must have all these things in hand when you start.
Yeah,
So
like for example, prerequisite might be, it might be that you understand keyword research to do the next step, right? So this might
mhm,
be, or it could be about, let's say it's about competitive analysis and understanding of keyword research. So it would link to either the SOP, or it would say that you would have to log into uh, H10 or
So
data dive,
yeah,
so you'd have to have that login information.
yeah.
So yeah, it's just everything that you need before you can actually proceed.
Exactly. Like there are a lot of times when we log into a certain platform, or we need certain type of access to perform different type of um, things that we need. Like sometimes you need to log into brand registry, or you need to I need access to your account for performing some step or finishing some task, and if I cannot get a hold of you to probably get the OTP, or probably have your approval for me to log in from my Chrome to that website. It's the waste of time. So I'll text you, and then I'll wait, and then I'll tell you, okay, give me 2 minutes. I'll send you a prompt, give me the OTP, or just approve me to log in, and then I'll start the job, right? So that was about third step probably that was requirement. Then there's this fourth step, which is like all the important words defined. So this is
This is
just
so
to make the
important. This
yeah,
this part right here is, these particular words or
yeah,
definitions. A lot of the times you know exactly what it is, but new people are doing this, shaking their head yes when they
yeah,
really mean no. They have no clue.
yes. So it's easier, and then sometimes you don't know, like especially when you're writing any SOP that's related to PPC, DSP, or any of those marketing related SOPs. It's very difficult to to understand a few things which are um, not easier, and then people are not aware of it. Like um, what are the conversion rates? There are many ways of knowing it, by ACOS, TACOS, ROS, a lot of things, and then people might get confused. They might end up, um, calculating it in a wrong way, or getting back with the wrong answer, which is, that defeats the purpose of writing it. So yeah, we generally all the words that will be used will be defined in this important words defined section, which is our fourth section. Then there's fifth section, which are resources. So if this has any other following article, or if it had an old article, like the steps are new right now, or the platform has changed and these are the new steps, will still link the old thing, so that if by any chance it gets back, or if you see the old window, or if there's something that you need that is available on that document, just use it. So everything that you would need to perform this task, you'll have, and the resources that you'll need, you'll have it in the resources section. So there'll be all the website links, if there's any password, or if there's any passcode to enter, it'll be there.
So let's stop there, and then we'll come back to the next step, which is the actual SOP. But
Right.
let's just stop. I'm going to do a read. Where is the read? Okay, here we go. And Kels, I don't know if you can pull up the graphic of the new website. You can make that full screen. I'll just talk over it if that's possible. But as you can see on the bottom corner, if Kels can make it full screen, that would be great. But this is our new warehouse. This is Honu Worldwide. Grand opening. It's happened. And here's just a little blurb about Honu. Full transparency. I am a co-owner in Honu Worldwide. All right. Honu Worldwide is having their grand opening of their brand new warehouse. Honu is accepting new customers. So get this, we went from around 1,200 skids. Now we have a facility that holds over 10,000 skids. The facility is incredible. It's actually 70 feet high. And all the racking is, I believe it's all up right now, but it's pretty cool. The warehouse is located, we've moved the location outside of from Nazareth to Wind Gap, Pennsylvania, and it's only 90 minutes from the New York, New Jersey ocean port. It's perfect for sellers needing quick access to major shipping lanes. This brand new warehouse has 10,000 pallets capability, perfect for warehousing, e-com order fulfillment, co-packing, and kitting. And don't miss out our secure your space. You can email Honu Worldwide today. That's at savings@Honu, HONU worldwide.com. And don't forget to mention the Beard Guys sent you. Okay, and one of the other things that I know that Afalabi was talking about last week is we have 15 or 16 formulas that we've also got. So anybody looking for high-end premium formulas, like anti-aging serums or different types of masks, just give us a ring, and we are looking for up to 5 people to work with, beta test. And we've already got, I believe, 2 now. So if you're interested, just give us a call. All right. So that's a shameless plug. The other thing today, Kelsey, we didn't talk about this before we got on because we were trying to get our guest, now Vandana, but we have a gift today. Do you want to do the same thing or similar to what we did with Honu? The winner today can get a Terminator, Tariff Terminator package and a free pallet for a year.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, Afalabi doesn't know, but let's do it. Okay, so now we're back. Let's talk about the SOP, so standard operating procedure. So how do you set that up?
I think we went with 6 steps. We finished 6 step already. How we, try to write it. So the last, not the last, but yeah, the real thing comes up. We start with the procedures. So to repeat it, we start with the first step is purpose. Then there's introduction. Then there's requirements. Then there's important words defined. That's the fourth section. And then the fifth section is resources. So now this is the sixth section of the SOP and the most important one, and that starts with the procedures. So procedures are also divided with like how we write it step 1, step 2, step 3. So that's how we write. All the procedures are mentioned one by one, and that has all the screenshots highlighted. Sometimes you'll just click on login, and then people can't find it. So small, written somewhere on the bottom or at the top of the page, and you don't know where do you click to log in, and that's why to solve that problem we actually highlight it. We highlight every step, and then we just put up a note like this is the step 1, then there's something here, step 2, then there's something here, step 3. So however we want to place it, we use all the images, the videos, everything, and then we also write it down step by step in each of those procedure steps, right? So that's how we write procedure one by one, all the steps to finish the task. It's shown very clearly with the screenshots and with the arrows that shows up. How do we, find out to finish? What do we find out? How do we do it? Where do we click, etc. And then that brings us to the second last step, which is review. So once you finish following the steps, we'll have to review the whole thing and then figure out that whatever we finished was right or it's done, it's saved. Sometimes it's not saved. Sometimes there might be an issue and that might not be done and you thought it's done. So we'll have to review. And once you finish up reviewing, this is the last step, which is reporting and following up. So, and it's one of the most important ones that once you've finished a task, it's not like just once a task that you just need to follow once and that's the end. So you'll always have to follow up. So you'll have to have a reminder. You'll have to have a task set up for you already in the project management tool, and then remind everybody or the team that this is done and this is something that we'll have to probably do monthly or check on it probably every 2 weeks. So let's set up a task and check it every 2 weeks. That is the follow-up and the reporting. Your project manager or person responsible, the brand manager, must know, or the client, if it's that if they have to be reported about certain completion of a task, they'll have to be informed that this was given and this is done, or this was done on so and so
So that
time
could
or
be
date.
quarterly or it could be annually, but a lot
Yeah,
of them, might be on a quarterly basis.
yeah,
And that's just to make sure that that interface or the SOP is still right, because a lot of the times you'll get people um, getting getting it wrong. Like they'll go and they'll do something and they'll come back and they say, well, step 19 is not there. And all of a sudden we'll get, oh, okay, well, something's changed. So, and this is a really good point. Excuse me, just a sec. I got a cough.
Yeah.
As this I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, and that goes within training. So this part of it is also training your staff. So going through, and this is where a lot of people make mistakes because they don't train their staff because they're so busy that they can't train their staff. This is where I'm lucky. I've got Vandana. She can train staff and then train the staff to train new people and just go down the line. But that takes time. And Vandana, when she first came on board, although she had really good knowledge of Amazon, we spent a lot of time together just kind of going through how we do things and a lot of one-on-one time just to make sure that it was done. One thing that didn't happen is if she was doing something, let's say that first year, that I was expecting there'd be probably a lot of mistakes. And, she was very good, but there were mistakes. One thing I didn't do is scream at her, and just blame her for a mistake, because the mistake is either the SOP wasn't done correctly, I didn't train correctly, or it was updated. That there's only those three. It can only be those three. And yet you're blaming somebody for doing the job that they're supposed to do. This happens a lot. So I would highly recommend that spend the time, properly train, go through. It takes a lot of time to get that proper policy and procedure done. And towards the end, you also want to have a quantifiable, right? The reporting. Is it working? Who do you report to? So, and I think that rounds up the final part to it, except for templates. And we'll get to that in a second. By the way, if you want to join, this is the first time we got a lot of listeners today. If you are listening to us for the first time, to get that prize I was talking about, that 1 year free pallet and the Tariff Terminator, which ends up being approximately a $500-600 value, because it's the package. I'll go over that later on. But it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Tag 2 people, you'll get a second entry. That's why you're seeing this. A lot of people are starting to drop it into the comment section right now. Also, if you have any questions about this is such an important topic. I see that we have a couple in there, but if you do have more questions, throw them in the comment section and we'll get to it. So Vandana, the next section. So when you go into our folder, and we'll talk about project management in a second, but we have one folder, and in that folder, you'll see the policy. So the policy and procedure. You'll see the second one, which are templates. And the third one is the video training.
Videos, yeah.
So tell us about the templates. What are these templates?
It's very important. So that's what I was trying to, I think I did not conclude when I was talking about it the last time. Let's say if there's an email follow-up that has to be done for a certain task to finish the task, and you don't know what to write, or maybe it's difficult to draft it, but it's very easier when we follow the SOP. It is said that this is how you need to perform, this is what you need to do. Just go to the second the second folder along with it, and there are templates and there are drafts in it. So there are 2, 3, 4 versions of the drafts that you can see which one fits you, or the easiest one that you can pick up, edit it a bit and send it, because the drafts are available and it's not difficult to just go find them, copy them. It's along with the same folder where you find the SOP and just use them. It's easy to know what you have to do. Maybe in the email you might have to ask us a particular question, or have answer to a certain question that you want to use in the next step, and you forgot to ask that. So it's just generally that you see the draft, you see the templates, that there are drafts in it, just follow the draft and send it, and that's how you know that you're not going to miss anything, no matter what you do.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And these templates could be a full email sequence. And these these emails, like they could just be in a doc format,
Mhm.
or we use Google Workspace,
Yeah.
and we could put it into a template there where it's a canned response. Like it's just there. You click on it, you might add some personalization, and then you send it. And
Yeah.
this could be a series of one, or it could be a series of 10. The other thing, you're talking about spreadsheets.
Right.
Canned responses for reviews. So if somebody has a really negative issue come up,
Yeah.
objections, this is what you can use, but we try to tell people to rephrase it. Don't use the same thing over and over and over again. But anything that you can do, it could be a slide presentation, it could be a PDF, anything, and it goes into these specific folders.
Right.
So the idea is, if we have Kelsey or a new graphic artist or whoever, they can go in and they can see those templates right away. No, that's and then we have the final folder, which I really like. I'm a visual person, so we make Loom videos.
Loom videos. Right.
Yeah, and
So it's very easy to use Loom video. So to be honest, from my side, because I record a lot of Loom videos, and I think it's the easiest platform to use and to finish the task that we are looking right now to finish. So you have SOP that you can follow. You can just read, look at the screenshots, and finish it. Then there are templates to finish the job and use those drafts or that are already available, and edit it a bit, use it. And then there's third step, which is video. So even after following this too, or even if you have a slightest 1% doubt about anything that the task or the SOP is explaining that you don't understand, you just follow the SOP, you just follow the Loom video, and then you'll know that this is where I'm getting stuck. This is what has to be done, and that just solves the problem. So 99% of the times you'll not have a single question, and then any question actually about the task to finish it, that comes back to me or to you or the person that who has written that SOP or recorded that video for you. So it's just very easy to follow this three, finish the task, that you might not have any doubt or questions about it
and
at
all
all.
of this, all
Yeah.
of the either the policy and procedure, the templates, or the training, we have naming protocols. So,
Yeah.
and we have naming protocols for everything, but it's
Right.
so important so you don't screw it up, that our standard operating procedures, it's PP hyphen, our templates is TMP hyphen, and then our training is TRN. And then even in the Loom videos, we'll start it out with the same naming protocol.
Right.
The date's going to be there. We have tags, so we know that it's hashtag SOP, hashtag whatever that the next two or three will be. So
Mhm.
just in case, again, it comes down to being able to find something at your fingertips. Uh, so that's another thing that we do, is we want to make sure that you can tag things properly. And by the way, um, would you be able to, if the winner today wanted to do an SOP, would you help them create an
Yeah.
SOP? So how
Sure.
about we throw that in? Because a lot of people, I mean, this is want to see exactly the way we do it. We'll throw in, Vandana will help write your SOP.
Yeah.
Maybe talk to you a little bit about the templates, but let's throw that in. And then you can take it from there, and you can sort of widen your base of SOPs. But Vandana will help you with that first SOP doing, and it's quite lengthy actually.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in that, hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, and tag two people, you get a second entry. And by the way, that also includes the other prizes today. So it's a pretty good day. A pretty good day if
Yeah,
you want
about
to.
Konu, I wanted to say myself, actually. I didn't get a chance to say. I've been using Honu's platform, I think, at the warehouse for all the other jobs, for all the clients that we manage, and I myself placing the orders and talking with the employees in there, sorting a lot of issues if it comes in, and it's so easy. Like, just believe it. You can just believe. on whatever I'm trying to say, because I'm finishing a task, and if it's difficult, I'll not, watch for it. It's not that. It's very easy. You don't need actually any assistance. You generally have to just create the order and it'll go out on time. You can just sleep. You place the order and sleep. That's
I
how
didn't
easy
pay you
it
for that either.
is.
So, okay. And the other part to this, very important, is the organization.
Hmm.
So we organize with Google Workspace. So all of our templates are there. It's under policy and procedure folder, and then it just we have it broken down into different categories. So onboarding, COB, client onboarding. We have our own employee, our HR files. We have our launch and rank. We have what are the other ones? Our PPC. Uh,
PPC, DSP, marketing. Yeah, there are a
yeah.
lot of
So
things
they're all
that we
broken
have.
down in those sections. And then those are linked. This is the biggie in our project management tool.
Yeah.
So I hear a lot about what is it called? ClickUp, um, Monday. We use this company out of Ireland who probably none of you have heard. None, I guarantee. It is the most awesome company out there. They're not that expensive. They just don't market like, I guess they don't have the budget to market like the other guys, but it's called Teamwork, teamwork.com. They have a great mobile app. They have a very good customer service. I don't make anything off of it. Not an affiliate. They have training. I think it's
Yeah.
Friday. You could just tune in, ask questions if it's got a complicated situation or you want to do something specifically for your tool. The guys will get on there and help you make something for your team. It's crazy, but teamwork.com, very, very sophisticated. It's not the easiest model if you want to use it to its fullest. It's like Excel. You can skim through Excel and use 1% of it, and you think you're doing a great job. But there's so much behind the program. If you learn it, you'll get so much more out of it. Same thing with this. So it has employee contract management. It has your projects. The projects can be broken down into you have your task. It's a task list, then your tasks and subtasks. And each one of the subtasks could be actual separate SOPs.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get too deep into it, but just the task list has an explanation of what is below. So let's say we're talking about influencers. It will do an explanation of influencers and a brief overview. Here's the SOP. But within that, you might have different types of influencing that's going on. So TikTok Shop, Logi, Join Brands. And so each one of those might be a separate SOP
Yes.
under the influencer network. But the key is if that person comes on and they want to start influencing an influencer package, one of our clients. Okay. So they go to a person that's never done it before. They see the task list. They see if they can handle it. And it's all there. If they can't, then they reach out probably to Vandana.
Yeah. um, the teamwork, it's very easy, and that helps a lot to finish any task within the team, or to assign task, to inform about the completion of the task. It's very easy. So if there are dependencies, that's the best thing I think in the teamwork.
Oh,
If
yeah.
I bring up any task and say, let's finish this task, or we need to do this for this particular client or for this particular account, and I bring up the task, and then there are dependencies that, I'll perform the first step, and then somebody can go and finish the second step. So that person the task has been already assigned to that person as well. But if the first step is on me, it will automatically assign all of the steps. It will tell you the dependencies. It will tell you the task, if it's the primary, or if the end date, so you know when you need to start, how important it is, everything. It will give you the timeline. You can comment on that. You can link your Google Drive. You can link everything that you wanna. You can add all the files. Everything is there. If you find out the task that you wanna, of the past that you finished, and you need to figure out something, or bring something up that you cannot find, or something that the comment that you need to check, or the other person's comment that you need to just go to that task. It does not goes away. It's always there. Just go to that past dated task. You'll find everything in there.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the other part, again, there's so much you can do with this. So you can do
Yeah.
lists, or you can do board views like
Yeah.
Trello, but you can graph it out. So I used to, back in the day, I've been using Teamwork for probably 10 years, long time.
Yeah.
But I used to do Gantt charts. And so when I was doing projects, not only could I see and the dependencies were there, but I could see if we were on track and just where we are at a glance. And we could still use it, but I don't think, I haven't seen us using Gantt charts for years, but
Yeah.
it's very good just at a glance. But we also, as a team, it's segmented. So your graphic artists don't have to know what your PPC team's doing, nor do you
Yeah.
want them really to know unless you give them those permissions. And here's another one. You can integrate all sorts of apps like Slack or whatever you want,
Right.
but you can give your client permission to see what you're working on. How many times are you working with somebody, either a contractor or a client, that they are pissed off because they don't know or you're not communicating properly? If they can see where what you're doing and where you're at, then they're not going to complain, which leaves less communication. The communication's in the chat, or it's in the file that they're looking at.
Yeah.
So yeah.
If there's this task that has to be done, or if there's some very important thing that has to be done, and a particular client or person who's responsible do not know that, there's something that we are doing already to resolve the problem. They're clueless about what's happening, and they can be frustrated. They need answers, and you have to, invest your time in answering, going back and forth with the communication, and then that might be a problem. But if you just add them, and they have with some, depends on however restricted account you need to create for them, what all they can see, what all comments they can see, what all files they can access, depends on the rights that you have to give to that account. But it's generally easier that a person can come and see oh, the task is already created, somebody is already working on it, there's timeline on it, this is the comment on it, if you want them to see the comments. And that's how they know, it's happening. It's not like nobody's working on the job, or nobody's, prioritizing the important thing that has happened to the account or to the client, right?
Yeah, it also has notepads.
Yeah.
So they call it a notebook. And in that notebook, one of the things that we used to do, we don't do anymore, but we used to export all the reviews into that one notepad. No, not into one notepad, all the positive, all the negative. And then the reason why we started doing that is just after what was it, November 2017 or 18. The agency was already started back then. Amazon was just blowing away reviews.
Yeah.
And so we had nothing. We didn't have the URL. So we could import all of these URLs, go back to Amazon and said, look, that was a bunch of crap. These are all real reviews. What are you talking about? They're non-verified or whatever they were. And we'd be able to get all the reviews back. But it was little things like that, putting like if you had specific information. Here's another way that we can use notebooks, is that if there's specific information about client information, it might be their address, contact, their social media, where everybody can access it, or you could break it down into permissions. But they're so handy, just at a glance. Again, they've done it really well, and nobody knows this project management tool. So check it out. And by the way, when you have that task list, and remember I said you can go and see the policy, you don't have to save it in Teamwork. They have an integration with a Google Workspace. So your calendar, your drive. So it just links to the company's drive, and everybody can check out the information there. Okay, I think that's probably it. I'm just going to say this one more time. If you are interested in today's giveaway, it is the 1 year, 1 full year free of charge over at Honu for one pallet. The Tariff Terminator, which is a $500 value, almost 600 with the monitoring, and the SOP. So the policy, the full policy and procedure, uh, Vandana will help you write the first
Yeah.
one or modify what you're doing right now. So that's it. Hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag two people. You get a second entry. Kels, can we get into some of the questions?
Yeah. The first question here is from Simon. Does having too many SOPs lead to information overload and difficulty in finding relevant procedures?
No. We had over 400 policies and procedures, and just in launch and rank we had 279. And the reason why there's so many is, again, going to the influencers. There could be 10 different networks that you're working with, and at a glance I could just say, this is back in the day when Thomason was big, Vandana, can you set up a campaign? What type of campaign? This campaign, and get us 10 influencers. This is before
Right.
influencers were even big. So yep, you could easily go and do that. Oh, and
Master list.
What's that?
I was just trying to bring up the point that master list, we maintain master list.
Oh, yeah.
Big
So
topic
we do
on
have a
its own.
master list of everything,
Yeah.
and broken down into the 7 different types of SOPs we have. So you just click on it and you can see everything. And even in the master list, it has title, description, whether there's a SOP done, templates. If the templates are there, where are they? They link to each one. The video links to that. So everything's on that master list, just in case something gets blown away by accident. But you can't. We even, Simon, I think I told you about this before, but we even had a policy on how to make a cup of coffee, because
You told me that.
yeah, like we had 23 people coming into the office, and
Oh my God.
it was horrible. If a guest came in, and by the way, this is why we did it. We wanted to show how the simplest SOP would affect the office and why, and that was coffee. So everybody, well, we don't need that. You're just wasting time, blah, blah, blah. Well, when we talked about the buy-in, well, we found out that people were really pissed off going back and finding that there was burnt coffee, and they took a quarter of the cup and nobody refilled it. So that ticked people off. Guests coming in, we had, and these were big, fairly large corporations, Fortune 500 companies coming in and seeing us all the time. They want a drink. Well, just before they leave, they get their coffee because it wasn't brewed, or it was watery, or it was like tar. So we wanted to define that. Then we wanted to talk about the definitions. What are we talking about? How much do you buy? So this literally happened. And Kelsey, probably, he was very young back then, but he hears me tell this story where one person went to Costco. Okay, it was Price Club back then, and bought a pallet of creamer because they got such a good deal. A pallet. I'd still be drinking it now. And so we said, how many do you buy? When do you buy it? Where is it located? And all of this came down to a 5-page coffee policy, which everybody, bought into. And they found out that making coffee is just not making coffee. It could either tick you off, get you in a bad mood, or make your day. And that's what we did. So,
while you're talking about this, I also actually remember a time when I joined. So, again, 5 years ago, I joined, and we were talking about things, and in between that, I had to create a digital coupon for one of the client, and I was like, yeah, let me just do it. I have access. I'll do it. I know how to make a coupon. You did not let me do that. I don't know, maybe for 3, 4 days until you came on call and, explain it to me. I was still on the onboarding process with this company, and you were, explaining me how do you look for the SOP, how do you find the SOP, give me all the access, and, let me read it and then create it. So you did not let me do it. And I was like, why won't you let me create a digital coupon? Like I should know that. I already know that. I can do that. And then no, I had to read an SOP, and then yeah. A lot of naming structure, this, that, everything that I learned, and then I created it as per the SOP. So if I'm not there someday, I don't know, maybe out of the office and somebody reading that the digital coupon expires, you need to create a new one. I don't know, maybe it's out of budget. Somebody's looking at it, can, make it again, or, increase the budget, do the changes. They know which one they have to look at, right?
Yeah, when you do this, when you do proper policies and
Yeah,
procedures, crisis management is gone.
yes.
And uh, going back to when I used to go into Toronto every day, get into my office, and you'd always hear these problems. Well, you can push it on to a project manager, a lead, senior project manager, and then structure it properly, and then you'll see that it's eliminated. In fact, our group in Toronto was able to go down to 4-day um, 4-day work week and have a cover off person. And so they got paid for 5 days. So they got one extra health wellness day, and they only worked 4 days and they got the same output. So really
Yeah,
important. What you
yeah.
could, I know I went away once for a month and no problems. And by the way, you separate yourself because there's an emergency number. I don't want to hear anything unless it's an emergency.
Yeah.
And you know this, like,
I don't know. I might have never called that on that now. Call you on that number.
right.
Yeah,
And
I
that's the
never
way it
had.
should be. So, but if I'm away, I don't want to get bothered and I don't call in. And, I know I'm with Kevin. He goes, aren't you calling it? No, 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 they'll call
Yeah,
me.
and it's not just a week that you're going away. So it's 2 days prior to that event that you might be, planning, you might be packing for your event, you might be doing all the stuff that you want to get ready before that. And then there's 3, 4 days generally after that. So, I'm checking in. I just came back yesterday. I'm checking in. I'll let you know. Okay, let's talk tomorrow. Okay, something came in. I need to figure this out. So it's generally 3, 4 days.
Yeah.
So it's like the event, 2 days, and then 4 days. So it's like 2 weeks.
And that's the way it should be. So, and I'm not talking about if you have an agency, if you have a company with
Generally, yeah,
one contractor, 2, 5, 10, that's the way you want to build that relationship. But let's go to the next question.
yeah.
All right. The next question is from Sasha. How do you handle distractions when starting an Amazon business? It's challenging to stay focused and efficient with all the providers, PPC experts, and AI specialists around. It feels like there's a cloud hanging over your business.
Easy. One thing that I do, Vandana knows this, I turn off everything. So I have one communication channel. It's called Rambox. Okay, RAM box. I have my Skype, Facebook, everything going into one funnel. So you can see what's coming in, or you can pause it and you don't answer anything. If anything's urgent, people know how to get a hold of me. If not, it comes through Rambox. I turn it back on. That could be the first 2 or 3 hours in the morning. Then when it comes down to prioritizing, so I'll go in and I'll say my morning, I'll go in, I'll half hour would be emails. Then my priority A, my first priority, it's got to be something that I get done. And then lunch will come up, and then I'll get my B or C tasks. These are ones I can get out of the way really quickly, a whole bunch of them, and then go and do the next big task of the day. So just kind of prioritizing and turning off all communication. You don't need it. These are just interruptions, distractions. Also, don't listen to 20 different podcasts. Don't follow, 20 different people on YouTube, because it's just going to give you mixed messages. One way will work, but all of a sudden you'll hear 10 different ways that work. They all might work, but you're so confused, you mess it up, and you tank. You don't get the sales. So I would be very careful about how many groups I join. Like if somebody wants to join our group and I see that they have like 35 other groups, a lot of the times we don't even allow them in because we know that it's just it's a group junkie. So they're not going to be engaged. Why have them in the group? So that's another thing. Just don't join every bloody group. And then when you're talking about shiny objects, yeah, I would like Saj over at Skill Leap. I follow Saj.
Yeah, even I do that.
The education I get from that is one communication. I do have a Neon Pulse, the newsletter. There's one other newsletter for AI I listen to, but you don't have to listen to 1,000 people. I belong to one group chat, which is really good. But everything like this, PPC, I know it. I don't even do it anymore. I sub it out. So the people that are in our agency, we sub that out. They do a good job, and same thing with DSP. So I work on strengths, and I outsource all my weaknesses, or the company's weaknesses. You can't be strong in everything. So by knowing that, you don't have to get involved with a whole bunch of things. You don't have to know everything about everything. So I hope that answers your question, Sasha.
Okay, and last question from Simon. Also, could SOPs stifle creativity or flexibility when addressing unique situations?
Well, I think that depends on
Partially.
how much flexibility you give your team. Like I don't am I a micromanager?
No, you're not. And to answer it, to be honest, everybody has rights to edit the SOP. So you just have to let me know, or let the responsible person know who has written that SOP. There's this new update that has come in, or I think this is a better, you can suggest, recommend at all point of time that, I've been doing this and I think this would be the easiest way, or this would be the better way of solving this issue. And then, you can go ahead and change it. So there's no problem about addressing
What
or
about
flexibility.
what about when we talk about creativity in images? A lot of the times, like the style that I like. Okay, I can't put that into writing, but over a period of time and training, you just do them.
Yeah, and the designers know them. When you're working, you know them that this is something that you might not. So I bring up the fourth, fifth mock-up with you that you and I know you're not going to be happy, but this will be the first insight that I'll get, and then the second thing would be the perfect one.
Yeah.
So I bring up the fourth, fifth mock-up from my side, and that would be, I don't know, maybe designer's 10th mock-up on his own, and then he might be doing it. So when you start working,
I
this is great.
remember the times when we were starting to work on the creative side.
Yeah.
And I got back from some trip and you sent over a bunch and I just went, why are you showing me these?
Yeah.
Well,
I think you
I
do
didn't
that
think
all
you'd
the
like
time.
them. Well, then why are you showing me them?
I know, and I think that's the first response I get from you when I show you any image or video. Like, this is crap. This is a bunch of crap. Why are you showing this to me? I'm like, okay, just tell me about something about it. Just give me some insight about what you
But
are
what
imagining.
I turn it around a lot and I say, well, what? And that's another big, when you're
Yeah.
working with employees, contractors, whoever, I don't want to be the problem solver.
Yeah.
Come back to me and tell me why you think it's not
Right.
a good image. So lots of flexibility, Simon.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it. Unless there's any other questions.
No, that is it.
Perfect. We could talk a lot longer, but we've already gone way over. So,
Oh, yeah.
all right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed today. We literally like a half hour beforehand said, "Hey, Vandana, want to come on and talk about SOPs?" So thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
No worries. But yeah, until 5 minutes before we started the podcast, I was not sure if I'm going to be on it or not. I said yes, let me know, and then you did not reply, and I was like, okay, I might be joining it. So I just then I got ready, and I'm like, let's be ready for it.
Yeah, I
Let's let it
actually
start.
sent the link over to you about 2 minutes before.
Yeah,
So again, thank you for coming on. This has
yeah,
been very educational. I hope everybody likes what they heard today. Also, Kels, let's just go over to the wheel today.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right, here
All
we
right.
go.
So here is the wheel. I'm going to shuffle these names up. Thank you, everyone who entered today's giveaway. And if you are the winner, please email me, kate@lunchwithnorm.com. And it looks like
Oh,
Alan.
Alan got it. Congrats, Alan.
Alan is the
You
winner.
almost had it, Steve. But so, Alan, just to explain, the whole prize is the pallet for a year, the tariff terminator. So if you have a product that you're, let's say it could be an active one or something that you're looking at right now, just send us the ASIN and we'll check it to make sure that you're getting the best HST code or HTS code. And if it's not, then we'll tell you the right code where, and by the way, 70% of the people that check out their HTS codes are wrong and could get a much better package. And by the way, when we say on average, we save over $7,000 an order for people. So that's what we've calculated so far. Also, we'll do the monitoring for 10 ASINs for a year to make sure that nothing has changed. So send us over 10 ASINs if you have them, and we'll monitor that to you for a year. Also, the SOP. So, Alan, if you have anything that you'd like us to write or work with Vandana on, we'll get that first SOP set up for you.
yep.
Okay. Well, you better get back to work. You're on the clock.
I have a meeting in 15 minutes.
All right. Okay. I'll see you later, Vandana. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, Kelsey.
Yes.
New, exciting. What's happening?
All right. Well, Alan, congrats again on winning. If you could just email me, kate@lunchwithnorm, and we'll connect you with your prize. And Jessica says, thanks for being available, and very useful information. And yeah, if you have any questions, just let us know in the comment sections, or you can always email me, kate@lunchwithnorm.com. We did send out the newsletter this week. It goes out every Monday, but if you're looking for the
It's a crazy story.
yeah, check it out in the description. And yeah, I think that's about it.
All right, very good. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you for joining. I know we ran a little bit late today, but I think it was useful. Just the key point is to have everything at somebody's fingertips, to get rid of that stressful crisis management, which happens to all of us if it's not done right. So especially for new people that are just getting started. I know it took me a long time to start spending the proper time on getting this corrected. And I started, by the way, I should mention, with Peter Gerber's The E-Myth. And I went through the E-Myth Academy, and I started to understand by taking time to get this done, even if you do just one a month, that's 12 a year, the most repeatable task that you do, it will save you so much time in the end. So get going. If you have any questions, throw them into the WhatsApp group, and I'll make sure that Kelsey, Vandana, or myself will answer them. All right, so that's it for today. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
entrepreneur.